Yeah, Kirk Cousins, just complete dog shit. Another horrible performance, hasn't thrown a touchdown in like 5 weeks, and you drafted a rookie quarterback in the top 10 of the draft, Michael Penix Jr. from Washington, who I consider to be the quarterback one of that draft class over guys like Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams and Bo Nix. I thought he was better than all those guys by a pretty decent margin, and he's running away his first season in the NFL on the bench for a quarterback who's getting paid $100-something million to throw interceptions and cost his team the game. Now they're behind in the standings. Now they're not in the playoff hunt unless they win a game and the Buccaneers lose their next game, which is not going to happen because Kirk Cousins is going to start in their next game and he's going to throw 3-4 interceptions because that's just what Kirk Cousins has been doing the past couple of weeks. I will admit, he started out the season on a good note. He gained the trust of Falcons fans, and now he's breaking the trust. And now every rational Falcons fan does not want Kirk Cousins to play because they drafted this fucking rookie quarterback who, has a strong arm, who is, mobile, but he's a pocket passer. He can move. He runs a 4.40 for fuck's sake. He can run, but, he only selectively runs. He only runs when he needs to, and he dices up teams from the pocket, reads coverage, good processor, good ball placement, good accuracy. Decision-making sometimes can be meh, but that's something I think can be cleaned up a little bit with a good quarterback coach. And he's sitting on the bench. He's literally doing nothing. He's holding a clipboard and the backup to a terrible $100 million Kirk Cousins. It's not fair. I don't think it's right that this kid has to sit out. It's fucking bullshit, and the only reason that they're doing it is, once again, because this guy, Kirk Cousins, is getting paid a fucking $1 billion, and they want to justify their purchase. They want to justify the fact they paid all that money for Kirk Cousins, and they don't want to look like losers. They don't want to look like chumps. They just don't want to look stupid, essentially. And that's coming back to sort of bite them in the ass a little bit, don't you think? Because he's playing like shit, so they're not getting any sort of return on that investment. And maybe a team that is wise and smart, a front office that knows how to make has critical thinking skills and knows how to make decisions on the fly and adapt, would understand that, okay, yeah, this guy is fucking atrocious. We need to put our rookie quarterback, our strong-arm lefty quarterback that we drafted in the top 10 of the draft in and see what the kid has, and we'll go from there, and maybe we can compete for a playoff spot with this kid instead of the fucking 30-something old-ass quarterback with no arm and no mobility who brings nothing new to the game. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know what the Falcons front office is thinking, why Penix wasn't put in last week is absurd. I don't know how after throwing 4 interceptions you can start the guy the next week. I don't care. I don't care how much money this guy's getting paid. He's not played well this season. He's throwing a bunch of interceptions. He's not throwing touchdowns. He's just not being efficient. And yes, he can complete short little throws, and he can throw it deep to Darnell Mooney, but Michael Penix can throw it deep to fucking Darnell Mooney. Michael Penix can do the exact same things as Kirk Cousins, except probably fucking 60 times better, if we're being honest here. Why? Just why are you making him sit? It doesn't make any sort of logical sense to me. But we all know the reason, and that reason is stupid and it's bullshit. It's like if the fucking Broncos, they started Jarrett Stidham, and the first 7 weeks of the season, he was ass. He had 3 touchdowns to 16 interceptions with a 46.8 completion percentage, with a passer rating of 12.9 or something ridiculous like that. And they said, no, this guy's getting paid more than Bo Nix, so we have to start Jarrett Stidham. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's the same exact situation with a different team and a different front office. But I don't really like making up hypothetical stories like that, but it's comparable to this. It literally is like if they paid Jarrett Stidham $100 million and he sucked the first couple weeks of the season and they didn't put their first-round rookie quarterback in. It's just, I know they're trying to develop him, they're trying to take the Mahomes route and stuff like that, but it doesn't make any sense. Taking the Mahomes route doesn't work for every quarterback. Some quarterbacks, you just need to let them get some game reps early. And I feel like Penix was the most pro-ready. I think it was him and Nix who were the most fucking pro-ready players. Nix is showing that he was the most pro-ready because he's leading his Broncos team to the playoffs and has really good statistics and looks like he could be winning a Rookie of the Year award. Could be running away with it if he has a couple more decent performances, but Jaden Daniels definitely is in that conversation too. He's played very well this season. Once again, leading Washington, who is just such a shit franchise, to was an impossible fucking playoff spot. Like, it's just, that's unheard of. So the guy has totally changed the identity of that team, and Bo Nix is changing the identity of the Broncos after the horrid Russell Wilson era. But the Kirk Cousins era in the Falcons is going to come to an end, because if they were smart, they would take their cap hit at the end of the year and release Kirk Cousins, because there's no fucking point. You might as well start Penix next season. Kirk Cousins provides nothing new. And when you were signing him, you knew what you signed up for. You signed up for a guy who's a decent little quarterback, who has certain things he can do well and certain things he can't do well. He can't get out of the pocket. He just is something he's never been good at. He's always been a statue fucking quarterback. He's good at reading coverages. Sometimes his decision making is very spotty, and you're seeing that. The worst of his decision making is being brought out, because I don't know, maybe he feels pressure, or I don't know, maybe he's nervous. I don't know why a 30-something-year-old fucking quarterback who's been in the league for 13 years would be nervous, but maybe that's the case. Maybe, he's feeling pressure from the front office, from the fans to deliver, to have good performances, and he's just shitting his pants every fucking time. And he's essentially humiliating himself in front of everybody. And Falcons fans, once again, rightfully so, are calling for Michael Penix Jr., the rookie QB, to start. And it's something they should do, because they're going to fucking sell a playoff spot to their division rival, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. All they have to do is win games. And Kirk Cousins has not been winning them games. They're like 0-4. What, they lost like 4 in a row? They look terrible. They literally look awful. It doesn't look, their season isn't unsalvageable, because once again, if you put the fucking rookie quarterback in you drafted, maybe he'll give your team a spark, you'll get some offense going, and you'll be able to win games. But now, what do you do? And a lot of people are going to say, well, they scored, I don't even know how many fucking points they scored. I'm going to take a look here. I think it was something in the 20s. I don't think it was something crazy high, but it was definitely enough to win in the NFL. 21 points. Yeah, that's like a bit below, or like near the league average of, points. But your defense is shit. You have no pass rush. You have no secondary other than AJ Terrell. You just know that your defense is cream puff, and you're relying on this 30-something-year-old fucking quarterback who has been throwing nothing but interceptions the past 4 to 5 weeks. And you're saying, lead us to the promised land, Kirk, and there's no promised land. You think there's some sort of light at the end of the tunnel in this situation. There's not, because Kirk Cousins is only going to continue to regress. This might be the worst stretch of his entire career. That says something. He's clearly getting worse. He's regressing, and he's not the quarterback he once used to be. He once used to be like an above-average NFL quarterback, but now he's just below average. He's not a good starter, and once again, they're learning the hard way about this situation, and they're learning the hard way that what they have to do is start Michael Penix Jr. because Kirk Cousins, is just no longer reliable, and he's going to get cut in the offseason, hopefully. Hopefully we'll never have to see him on a fucking NFL team again, because I'm just sick of seeing the guy. He's not even that fucking good, was never good. Mediocre, stat-padding fucking quarterback. Just terrible. Guy is awful, and they need to bench him. Michael Penix needs to be in the fucking game next week, or the Falcons season is in jeopardy. Thank you all for watching. This has been Mr. Truth, and this was nothing but the truth.